Okay, good morning. Glad to have everyone here. You are in the Foolproof Me, Make Healthy Skepticism a Habit, Financial Literacy and Consumer Life Skills Taught by Young People session with the Director of Education for Foolproof, Mr. Mike Sheffer. And with that being said, quick introduction. He's better at doing it himself. Take it away, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. I'm actually on the East Coast, so I've already taken care of the coffee in the process. I'm coming from you from Amelia Island, Florida. Beautiful day here. This is my last one today, so I will be going outside as soon as we're done today. I taught in New York State for 32 years. I was the department chairperson for business and economics in 2 schools. I taught personal finance, my entire career. I mean, it was one of the best things in the world. If you are teaching personal finance now, or you want to teach it in the future, run to your principal and tell them you want the class, because it's all about them. It's really a great class to teach because, number one, our students are selfish. We want them to be selfish when it comes to them and their money. This is their future. We want them to be really engaged in this. And there are some great resources out there for you to use in your classroom. And that's why I'm here today to share FoolProof with you. So FoolProof was actually developed in my classroom over 15 years ago. And then one of the things that when we started to develop it, was if a student didn't take a personal finance class or an investing class, where are they getting the information? Now, where we're going now. It's great. Left and right states are adopting personal finance graduation requirements. It's fantastic that they're doing it. But when we started FoolProof, a lot of it was, if you didn't take the class, where are you getting the information? So we're consumer advocates and teachers. FoolProof's 100% free. There's no advertising. There's no cost to FoolProof. We're not selling anything on FoolProof. We're 100% a foundation. Like I said, FoolProof was founded in my classroom with, I had 2 other co-founders with it. I'm going to kind of take you through our story real quick and then take you live to what FoolProof can do for you, in your classroom and in the process of how you implement it. I'm a teacher. And so now I'm teaching teachers. It's fantastic. We believe in talking to people, not at people. So in FoolProof, we've embedded videos in the FoolProof curriculum that actually young people are talking to young people. Now, when I retired in 2017, I was 55 years old. I still thought everybody was listening to me. I was a teacher. I'm in front of the classroom. Everybody's listening to me, until my students said, "Hey, you have my parents in school." I said, "Oh yeah, I'm old." So we decided that, young people would be a great way to get this topic to young people. But in the process, we also have to be really serious about personal finance. We have standards, we have rigor, we have relevance in FoolProof. So we have a nice mixture, and I'm going to take you live here. We're together till 2:20. I'm going to try to end at 2:15 to be able to answer any questions. Put your questions in the chat as we go. And then we'll, the moderator's doing a great job of, helping me with that as we go through it. So I'm just going to kind of take you I just have a quick presentation. It kind of helps in the process of, where we are in FoolProof and what we do. I didn't change it from the first one, so it's going to take me a second just to go back real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is my information. That's my email address. That's my cell phone number. When you come to a PD or a webinar that I do in live or virtual like we are now, you get me. So any questions that you have, you can go ahead and just reach out to me. You can follow us on, of course, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, where we are, what we're doing. But in the process, as you start to implement FoolProof, you can reach out directly to me. Inside of 24 hours, I'll get you the answer you need, or we'll set up a time to meet so you can go in the process of getting to where you need to be. I believe in diversity of curriculum. Diversity of curriculum is one of the best things that teachers can have. With all these great resources out there in personal finance, you got to be careful. You have to vet these things. The state of Nevada is taking a look at FoolProof. That's why I'm here today. We have a full site for the state of Nevada. It's foolproofnevada.org. We have a site, and there's a typo there. I'm sorry, it should be .org, not .org. The solo site is for young adults. The young adults that are, aged out of your curriculum in high school, community college. We have modules for them in smaller bite-sized fashion. As you know, NGPF is the leader in financial literacy education, PDs, great fan of Tim and everything that they do. We're very complimentary of each other. You got to look at NextGen, and I'm sure you're already doing it. You heard from Gene at Troutwood. Here's the cool thing about this. This is kind of breaking news. And if you sign up for FoolProof, you'll get the email on this at the end of the month. FoolProof and Troutwood are going to have a shared resource partnership. Troutwood is going to be embedded into the FoolProof modules. So you don't have to go out, and your students don't have to leave one to go to another. It'll be embedded in the module. So they click on Troutwood, they're working with their resources. And I'm could not be happier to be involved in an organization like Troutwood. You heard Gene as a keynote. What you see is what you get. He is the leader of that organization. He's doing everything he can to make sure that everybody has the same information to create wealth. The one thing that FoolProof brings to this formula is we talk about the debt culture. You have to stay out of the debt culture to create wealth. And then two college organizations that I really like, College Money Matters. Great information for parents, for students on everything related to college. Again, free, no advertising. And then Understanding FAFSA is one I just found. I talked to the founder on that about a month ago. FAFSA is going to change. FAFSA is changing in the next year and a half, 2 years. So we're working with them to update everything new that's coming to FAFSA. It's very important to us that your students get the right information, because if they can stay out of that debt culture, it's going to make a huge difference on how they build wealth. Okay. FoolProof Nevada is just a landing page. We don't want you to bypass FoolProof Nevada. There's a tremendous amount of information. You should use all that information with your students, use them as bell ringers, use them as assignments, everything you want to do. That's not the curriculum. The curriculum is behind the firewall. The firewall you're going to have to register for. So if you want to open up a browser while I'm taking you through this, that's great. You just go to foolproofnevada.org. In the top right-hand corner, you click on Login. You click on Teacher Login. It's going to say, are you a first-time user? Yes. Complete the registration form. We don't need anything personal from you. Even though it asks for your personal email address, you can leave that blank. We need your school email address and your school information. Inside of 24 hours, you're going to receive a username and password from FoolProof. You now are a FoolProof teacher. You get everything we offer. Once you get that and log on to FoolProof, I'm going to show you how to do it. You need to change your passwords. It's something you're going to remember. You need to guard your password. We do not want the students on the back end of FoolProof. Everything is there. Tests, information, everything. And I'm going to show you that live, but you need to register first. There's no obligation. We do financial literacy totally than everyone else does. We do critical thinking skills, rely on research, be a healthy skeptic. So you need to look at FoolProof from your students' eyes and decide if that's something you want to use. You should never put anything in your classroom you don't vet. So it's important to us that you get the back end of FoolProof so you can look at everything we do, and then you make your decision from there. 78% of teachers that go to a webinar, in-person PD conference have used FoolProof 5+ years out, because we measure them every year and their usage. And where did they hear about FoolProof? Well, I saw Mike speak at Ohio CTE. Now we know they saw us in person. They continue to use FoolProof. All right, everything's on FoolProof Nevada. I'm going to go kind of fast now so I can get you live to the back end. I know you got a long day ahead of you today. All right, here are our numbers of FoolProof. My class was the first FoolProof class. We started with one module. That's it, as we built this. It was great to have all my students as kind of the marketing department of FoolProof for what worked and what didn't. You can see where we are now. We already have over 136,000 students just this school year alone. We have over 1,900 new teachers. We're going to be over 20,000 teachers. We're already over 9,000 schools, and we will get to, well, technically, I know we're there. We just haven't made a big announcement. Yes, we are over 1 million users of FoolProof. So we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to teach your students consumer life skills. We're going to teach them to be critical thinkers. So everything that we're gauging in FoolProof is to have them make a critical thought when it comes to them and their money. We're going to have them be healthy skeptics. They have to be in this. We know they have to be in this capitalistic society. We know. But in the process, they need to know that everyone is out there trying to separate them from their money. So we have to go through in the process, and we got to make sure that they understand that if they make a good decision, that's going to help them in the long run. They don't want to be impulse buyers. All those things that come in to, create a debt culture for our young people, we want to make sure that they understand the process. What they do with the information is up to them, but we don't want them not to have the information. Everything that comes to be with their money, we want them to question it. We want them to use caution, question sellers, rely on research. That last one is really kind of hard right now, because with all the artificial intelligence and all the bots that are out there and everything that's generating reviews and generating, when you do your Google search, everybody that's paying for certain things, not everybody's telling the truth. So just because you read it doesn't make it true. So in the process, we have to teach our students and everyone in the process that they have to really understand what information is out there. And there's resources that we share that can help. We're the only financial literacy curriculum endorsed by the 4 major consumer groups. No one else can say that. We're national partners with Jumpstart. A lot of people can say that, but we've been the keynote speaker to teachers. If you've never been to the Jumpstart conference, you need to register and see if you can get a scholarship. It is the best financial literacy conference in the country, bar none. And they treat teachers like they should be treated, like how businesses treat clients. Great dinners, great parties, great networking, great hotel, great city, and it's free. If you get the scholarship, you go for free. All you have to do is get there. And this year, it's not too far from you. It's in Phoenix. We always take it. And I am the keynote speaker next week at Jumpstart partner meetings. And my whole speech is on technology and consumerism. My whole speech is geared to adults. And I'm going to tell them they need to think like a young person. Because a young person doesn't run away from technology, they embrace it. So now we have to teach everybody that, okay, it's here to stay, it's here to separate you from your money. Now you have to be able to have the resources and the wherewithal to do it. That's where FoolProof Nevada has great information for you as well. Okay, let's talk about the curriculum. Everything's web driven, everything's interactive. I'm going to show you a video that shows you the peer-to-peer. Everything has testing. We have a pre-test and post-test, tough as nails. Closed caption on FoolProof. Special education version of FoolProof. Spanish language FoolProof. All these things that we're trying to make sure that everybody's talked to. Everybody's needs are being met. That is our goal. FoolProof for high schools has 19 modules. We just added crypto. I'm going to show you a video on that. The modules are anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes long. They both have pre and post. We have 20 grade assignments, 15 group activities. We're always changing them and adding them. And in the process, you could use FoolProof for a full 20 weeks. There's that much information if you use our teaching guides and we want you to teach. We want you to share your money experiences with your students. We want them to be able to talk openly and honestly with you about their thoughts on money, the things that they want to accomplish. And again, we've all made money mistakes. No one in this room hasn't made a mistake. So in the process, we want to make sure that we continue to talk to them. That is the process of the conversation. Okay, these are the lists of the modules. We align 100% to the financial literacy standards in the state of Nevada. If you change your standards, we'll add things to the module. We're going to talk about a cool function that we have that's coming in Nevada in the fall that will let you prove that your students met the standard in the state. And here's some of the other ones, from college all the way to taxation. And of course, you know, we just added crypto. We're going to talk about that. If I have middle school teachers here, that's fantastic. We have a middle school curriculum. This is about them into society, them and money, who they can trust, what's opportunity cost, you know, avoiding the debt culture at a young age, having them understand they're in this system. I mean, if they search for something, someone's following them. If they buy something, they're being followed. So in the process, we have to make sure that they understand their role in this economic system. So there's 9 modules there. They take a little bit longer than 20 minutes, what I'm noticing. All the bells and whistles of FoolProof are in there as well, and I'll show you those live. Here's a video to the introduction of FoolProof for middle school. Now, the intro videos to each modules are right around a minute long. The rest of the videos are like 30 seconds. They're all done by professionals. They're shot by our videographer. He's a graduate of USC. We know that the videos have to be good. If they're not good, the students turn them off right away. And in the process, you know, their whole life is videos. So they know the process. All right, let me show you this video real quick. Oh, something happened. Sorry, my fault.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I'm here with a couple friends, and we'll be with you for most of FoolProof. We wanted to tell you a little bit about FoolProof and the modules you're starting right now. Young people founded FoolProof. They founded it because they believe you deserve a heads up when it comes to your money and how you spend it.
None of FoolProof's founders are from families with money, and all of them have made a ton of mistakes in their lives, but they learned from those mistakes. Most of the stuff you hear about in FoolProof is based on what they learned. And here's the big lesson they learned. If you're going to be in control of your life, you need to be a healthy skeptic. When you're a healthy skeptic, you question anyone or any company that wants your money. FoolProof is about showing you how to be that healthy skeptic. Believe it or not, you're at a great time in your life to learn about questioning people. Know why?
You're going to get to build the habits that will determine how much control you have over your future. The habits you build can be bad habits or good habits. That's your choice. But if you understand what's going on around you, you're probably going to make better decisions and be a happier, more successful person too. You don't have to be what happens to you. You can choose who you're going to be. Which brings us to an interesting question. What makes a person grown up?
So that's the introduction to FoolProof. Oops, sorry, I lost you there for a minute. For middle schools, and every module has an introductory video to kind of set what they're going to learn, and then we go from there. So and I'm going to show you the back end of FoolProof. You know, I got everything timed out so you'll be able to see it. We're going to grade all your tests. Every objective test, pre and post on FoolProof, is graded in real time inside of a millisecond. Usually, if I'm in person, I get a standing ovation for that, but it's okay. We're in a webinar. You know, we don't want you to have to worry about grading tests and everything else. Pre and post tests, we're going to talk about data here in a minute for FoolProof and the data. Track students' progress. You'll know where your students are in real time. So you're going to know exactly where your students are all the time in FoolProof. You can lock the module tests or lock the modules so everybody's on the same page, or you can let your students go at their own pace. We do randomized testing because we want the students to retake the test. If they're not happy with their grade, they can retake it. They can review their old tests. They can look at their notes. They go back and do the module. The idea is that we want them to be involved in this. And that's why I'm saying, if you're going to teach personal finance, it really is one of the best classes to teach because it is about them. And you can find a connection point anywhere in this. The process is that this is something that they're going to want to pay attention to. I'm going to show you how to customize your curriculum. We're going to talk about this, checking off the standards. You can, of course, export FoolProof from the back end of FoolProof to your grade book, reset the test function. And again, when I'm using FoolProof in my classroom, when I was teaching prior to my retirement, when I was using FoolProof, when a student failed the test, I had them raise their hand. And I'd go back and review the test with them because every student's at a different pace. So I get time for individual teaching, and that's something that we need more of. And then I'd go up to my computer and I'd reset this test function. We have another way to do it if you're doing remote, where if the student passes a test, it can be automatically reset. So because they're not waiting for you, because you could be, you know, doing another virtual class. But the idea is that we give a lot of bells and whistles to FoolProof to make it easy for the teacher. And again, easy to sign up. I'm going to show you how to do that. And of course, they're always going to forget their password, and there's a reset function. So we do a survey when students finish certain modules. We ask them questions that aren't graded. It's about the program. So right now, there's over 450,000 responses in our survey so far this school year. 73% of them said they'd work through another FoolProof session in their own time. Now, granted, we know we can force curriculum to our students. They're in your class, this is what they're going to do. But in the process, that's why we created FoolProof Solo. FoolProof Solo, then, if they're really interested, they could go out to shorter modules on their own, without logins, without, you know, being in a school, all those, you know, classes being created, and they can learn more on the things they want to. Let's talk about the data. Now there are 19 modules of FoolProof because of crypto. 17 have tests, 2 are guided practice. Every one of those modules has a pretest. The pretests are embedded in the first couple of slides. Before any knowledge is given, we're asking questions on the subject matter in the module. When they finish the module, they have their post tests. We do all that correction for you. We give you all the data. The national average, and well, I shouldn't say national, FoolProof is worldwide. The worldwide average is 34.7% increase in knowledge so far this year. This is a ever-changing statistic because I get them real time at the end of every week where we are in our standard learning objective, increase or decrease in knowledge. I mean, it's amazing to me, the back end of FoolProof and all the data and tech that we have. We have a great tech team, but in the process, you as a teacher will be able to see where your class is standing at all times. All right, here's the difference between middle school and high school. This is the intro to crypto. Now, you can use this in middle school. You can set your curriculum any way you want, but you're going to notice that we're using older actors. Where, you know, the scripts are a little faster. It's a little bit more active. And this is the introduction to crypto. And this is module 19 in FoolProof for middle school.
Crypto, crypto, crypto. Hundreds of millions of people worldwide are investing in cryptocurrency these days. And more companies are getting involved too. So let's start at the beginning. What are cryptos really?
In layman's terms, cryptocurrencies are digital currencies, a currency that is mainly traded online, but that can sometimes also be used to pay for things online.
There are literally thousands of cryptos, and many versions come and go continuously. You have Bitcoin, of course, but any crypto that isn't Bitcoin is considered altcoin because it's alternative to Bitcoin. Just to name a few well-known ones, you have Ethereum, Binance Coin, Tether, Polkadot, and even Dogecoin.
Let's factor in all the tricks around cryptomania that are being played on investors and enthusiasts, like the rug pull scams and pump and dump schemes, an easy likelihood for you to lose every dime in your crypto play. One example, have you heard of the Mt. Gox scam? Once the biggest crypto exchange platform on the planet until it was compromised and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crypto were stolen.
The market cap is $2.168 trillion. And now the market, oh, it's a zero.
Oh. That's why you need to have a good basic level understanding of cryptos.
We'll get to all this into great detail in the upcoming module, but for now, we just wanted to get you on your toes around all this crypto stuff. It is not to be taken lightly, or chances are you may lose big time if you get into the crypto game. Needless to say, you need to get yourself a basic level of understanding for cryptos, am I right? So let's get started right now.
So that's the intro to crypto. As you can see, that's a little bit over a minute, and that kind of sets the table for the for the entire module. And there's a lot going on with crypto. What I'm hearing from students all the time is that crypto module is really hard. And I said to them, good, because crypto is really dangerous. And you better be a critical thinker. You better be a healthy skeptic. And you better really take a look at that. Because if you don't, you can get hurt in crypto. Listen, we don't want our kids to put their head in the sand. You know, technology and different types of investments, that's always been changing through our lives. But you have to remember, our students are what we call from the cradle to the grave with technology. I taught before the internet. I mean, so I'm not one of those. I'm 60 years old. So we're always playing catch up. Our students have been exposed to technology from day one, but we still have to teach them to be a healthy skeptic. The old saying is, if it's too good to be true, it's probably illegal. So, you know, that's the process. All right. You heard from Gene this morning in Troutwood. Gene is Gene. You got, you know, one of the things I love about Gene, he's so genuine, and is the process of what he's doing to help young people get the same information to create wealth is fantastic. That's why I'm so happy we're partnering with Troutwood and bringing financial literacy education to everyone, you know, at every level, middle school, high school, young adults, all the way up through in the process. People are using the Troutwood app to really look at their plan. Everybody has a plan. We can build their great resources into FoolProof. We're very excited to be together with this. Gene has explained Troutwood to you. My 2 takeaways from your day today: I would download the Troutwood app and I would start looking at it and see how it can help you and help your students, and make sure you register for FoolProof so you can see the back end of FoolProof going through it. And again, we're going to put all this together for you so you have the whole process. All right, so I'm going to take you live now. I actually hit my time. It's 2 o'clock. We're going to go to 2:15 live on the FoolProof site. Then I'm going to have 5 minutes for you for questions. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the chat. Our moderator is going to kind of group those together for us as we go, and then hopefully we're good to go. I'm going to show you how to register for FoolProof if you haven't done so already. You will get your username and password inside of 24 hours once we vet you to make sure you're not a kid trying to get to the back end of FoolProof. But I'll take you through that right now. So I'm going to go to FoolProof Nevada. Right here. So here we are. This is FoolProof Nevada. Okay, you have your own site for the state of Nevada. Everything on FoolProof Nevada is out. It's not behind any locks. So technically this is for everyone. Of course, as you know, the curriculum is behind, you know, a firewall, but we'll go from there. Don't bypass this site. There's a lot of great information on this site for you. The articles, the guides, the videos, everything's in Spanish. This one, Ever Heard of Malvertising, is a great video. I'm actually using that at Jumpstart next week in my speech to Jumpstart partners about it's malicious advertising and what it is. Now, remember, all this information you can decipher and use with your students. This is all for you. It's 100% free. As you can notice, there's no advertising. Look at our sponsor. We got a national sponsor. If someone sponsors in Nevada, they get a little blurb here and that's it. There is no selling on FoolProof whatsoever. All right, to log in, you just go to teacher login, click on it. Again, if you don't have your FoolProof code, here's how username and password. This is how you get it. Request access here, click on it. And then that takes you right off. You just go ahead and fill it out. Inside of 24 hours, you'll get your username and password. If you don't, now remember, it's Saturday. So by Monday, you would have it. If you don't have it by Monday, check your spam. If it's not in your spam, reach out to me. You have my email address. I'll make sure you get it. All right. Once you get your username and password, you just type it in. And I'm going to put you on mine, of course. And now you are on the back end of FoolProof. You are now a FoolProof teacher. Everything you need is here. Quick start guides, how to set it up. You're not going to remember everything I go through. How to set up your class, a full PD right here in video. So if you're having any trouble falling asleep, you can go right in there. About 8 minutes in, you'll probably be taking a nap, but you can go through it. It's all ledgered for you, so you can go through it and go at it. we go out and put banners out. We only try to send you a couple emails a month. We don't like to overdo you with emails. We know you got a lot going on. So if something is pertinent to Nevada, we know that you're signing on FoolProof Nevada. We'll send we'll send everything to the Nevada site. When you sign in, you'll see it right here. All right, let's take a look at the curriculum. You go to components, you go to middle school. Click on middle school if you're a middle school teacher. Here's your curriculum right here. You can look at the core message, view the modules. Please look at the modules before you put them in your class. We want you to vet FoolProof. We're here because state ed vetted us and liked everything they heard and saw, and they did all their due diligence. Let's vet this thing twice. Let's have you take a look at it. I'm a teacher first. Should never put anything into your class you haven't vetted. Take a look at it. We got teaching guides. You can look at the tests, everything else. I'm going to show you how to create a curriculum, but then this is how you just go look at it. You go click on high school if you're a high school teacher. Here's the modules. You can see there's a lot more of them, all 19. And then we have assignments and activities as well. You can pick anything you want out of FoolProof to do. Please take a look at it, vet it out. You have now, as I say, the keys to the car. Everything that we have on FoolProof is yours now, 100% yours. Okay, so everything that we do now, you're actually going to own. You can use it. When you go to set up your curriculum, you just go to create a curriculum. And let's say you're a middle school teacher, you can name this. Let's say you're doing it in civics, family consumer science, whatever it is. You go ahead and name your curriculum. Let's say you want to do all 9 modules with your kids. You know what a lot of schools are doing? We got some great programs. They're doing what's called FoolProof Fridays in the middle school. They have a 9-week class. And a lot of that's happening in the United States. There's 9 modules. They do FoolProof every Friday. Kids get out their devices, they go on FoolProof. So you decide you want to do them all, you click them all, you hit save. Saves here down at the bottom, you click on that and you go to your curriculum, and now you just create your class. If you're in the high school, you take it to a high school, you go to create a curriculum. I'm going really fast now, I'm sorry. Go to high school. All this information is here. You can pick and choose what you want. You put a check in the box, that's all your students see. So if you don't want to do the 2 guided practice, you don't want to do 5 and 7, you don't check the box. So your students will go to 4 to 6, 6 to 8. They don't see anything that you haven't picked. And then you go to create your class. This is how easy it is. You go ahead and name your course. You know, we're all teachers. You got period 1, period 2, period 5. You got consumer math, or you got, investing in your future, whatever you're going to name it. You're going to have a class because you have all your separate information for your kids. Then you put the grade in, it doesn't matter. And then you click on your curriculum. So let's say I want to use the same FoolProof curriculum for my 4 classes. You only have to create 1 curriculum and you keep checking that curriculum for all 4. So all your classes will be on the same information. Pretty easy. And then you go to your components, your standards. And you go ahead, and Nevada is going to be here. You click on Nevada. Here's the cool thing with this. Every student who finishes the module and successfully passes the test, we will align the FoolProof modules to the standards in Nevada. On the back end of the student's record, it'll show it checked off when they finish those standards. So you can now have proof that the students met the standard, that met the requirement. It could be a local requirement, but you know how it's going. There's graduation requirements, all right? We're going to take care of the question at the end here because I'm short on time, but we'll do it. And then you have class instructions. You can type in the date and what the student has to accomplish. And every time they log into FoolProof, they'll see all the instructions you have. My suggestion is you don't take any of them off, because if a student's absent, they can go back and look. It's just like your interactive lesson plan, what it is. Smartboard class, you could go ahead and you can use FoolProof as an interactive textbook. Do the module with your class. A lot of teachers are doing it that way. They're using us as an interactive textbook. When it comes to the test, the students log in, the test is graded for them. Most teachers don't do it that way, so we'll keep it no here. Select the grading method. I like highest grade. I want the kid to take the test again. I want them to challenge the 80. Can he get a 90? But let's say he gets a 70. Kid's going to be mad when the 70's there let's give them the 80. I don't want you to get into that, give and take there. Auto reset the test. If they're in your class, I like no. And when they fail the test, they raise their hand, you review the test with them. Are you ready? Yep, I can reset it. You go up to their account, hit reset. If they're virtual, you want yes. Reason you want yes is as soon as they fail the test, they can review the old one and they can reset it. I like to give the kids 4 attempts. Totally up to you what you do. I just like that. It's worked for me in the past. I've talked to a lot of teachers that I think 4 is a great number. I got 150 questions per module. So you're gonna maybe grab 1 or 2 that are the same, but usually you don't. I like to review the test always, and then you set the passing score. If foolproof is just not the only thing you're using for personal finance, maybe give your kids the 80 challenge. Let them take the test multiple times and get 80. Give them a reward if they get it on the first time. But if this is the only thing that's passing and you put 80 and the kid fails, you got to deal with your principal and your school district with that. That's not going to go well. So whatever your passing score is, I think you can figure that out. Let me show you something live here. Okay. Now, when this is all done, you're going to hit submit. And once you hit submit, you're going to get a class code. Your students are going to go to FoolProof Nevada. They're going to go to login. They're going to go to student login. You put the class code on the board. They put the class code. It's going to say first time, first class. Yes. Put the code in here. They're going to say, is Mike Sheffer your teacher? If I create the class, they check yes. Your student does username and password. That's how quick they're into your class. Okay. It's very simple. You can register the whole class, get them going on the first module in the first period if you want. But the idea is that it's very simple to do. All right, let me show you the demo from the back end. Here's just a small class. You can see that's the class code. That's the one you would give to your students after you create the class. This is how you check your students' progress. This is all real time. The box is green. The green box means they finished the module, successfully passed the test. The 99 means they got 1% of the module left. They haven't finished it yet. This is cool. The green box on top means they finished the module. The red means they've taken the test and haven't passed it. This is in real time. You can check your students' progress. I put this up on the smart board when my kids are in the class, so I can look up and see what they're doing. Here's the grading part. Take a look at that. The first number is the percentage. That number is the percentage of the pretest. That's their score on the pretest. The second number is their post-test score. The third number is the standard learning objective, increase, decrease in knowledge. Remember we talked about data? I split this into a weighted average. I like that. I count these as quizzes. There's 17 quizzes in FoolProof. This gives you your average of your class in real time. But here's the cool part. You know how Martina's doing at all times live. When she finishes all the modules, she's going to have 17 tests. She's going to have 17 pre-tests, 17 post-tests. That's her average. Give that as a final exam. I'm going to ask you 400 questions in this whole process. I don't think they need any more, to be honest. Take a look at the individual student, then I'm going to take questions. The individual students' records are right here. If Martina has an IEP or diverse learner, you can change her to the special education version of FoolProof. No one will know. No one will know. There's more definition of vocabulary, and the multiple choice questions are shorter, and the choices are down to 2 from 4. If you need to reset their password, if they transfer from one class to another, or they transfer from one FoolProof school to another. Let's say you have 4 high schools in your city and the student moves, but each of you using FoolProof, all they got to do is request their transfer token. All their information goes to that FoolProof teacher. Pretty cool stuff. All right, I've caught. Oh, let me show you the standards. This is cool. When they hit their standard, this is Ohio. This is the example. They're highlighted. And here's the standards in Ohio. Now, they haven't met any of these yet. But you can see in the green, they've met those. They've done those modules. They've successfully passed the test. But this is what a full standard checkoff looks like. We call this the passport. Everything is checked off. So this standard is now complete. How did they complete it? You have the data. We show you the crosswalk. And then, of course, you have the test scores. All right. I'm a little ahead here. All right. So now I'm going to answer questions. So if the moderator could help me with this and kind of put all these together for me, I'd appreciate it if she's around.
I'm right here. Okay. So starting from the top, there was a comment, is the special education aspect new? This person doesn't remember it being there before, but love that it's there.
It is, it isn't, it's about 4 to 5 years and we've updated it. So my suggestion is when you have a student in your class that has an IEP, a diverse learner, whatever the issue is, once they're entered your class, click on their name and then change them to the special education version. If English is a second language and their first language isn't Spanish, a lot of teachers are taking those students and put them on that special education version as well. And they can slow down the video speed, and we have closed caption there as well. So that's helping a lot of students that Spanish or English is not their first language. Great question.
Great question. Deborah, I'm kind of going to combine your questions together. So Mike, when you were going through the curriculum, there was a point where Deborah said she couldn't see the Nevada academic content standards or the Common Core standards. Would you be updating the curriculum modules to reflect standards that apply to Nevada? But it seems like it is in there. And an additional question on top of that was, will you have the Nevada math standards as well as the financial literacy standards available?
So things are ever changing in the financial literacy landscape. So as standards come through, we do the crosswalk. I'll work with state ed to see where it is, and then we'll work on anything that we're a little bit weak on. So for instance, we are adding a module now on behavioral science and the idea of your thoughts and money and everything else. And I'm starting to see that across the states. So the crosswalk will be there, the checkoff will be there. We already had a great meeting with Nevada State Ed about that. And we are just going to kind of push forward. So when you go into fall, probably the latest, the end of September, Nevada will have the checkoff. So the standard will be checked off.
All right. This person is there an embedded connectivity availability for FoolProof to connect with the Canvas LMS, or will somebody have to hand enter if they use that?
So here's the issue with that is we kind of lose our independence when you put yourself on a platform like that. So we get that question all the time, and the answer is no. They're going to have to go out on the FoolProof site. Now you can put the link to FoolProof on anything that you want, but to make sure in that process, okay, we want the students to go to FoolProof Nevada, go to log in, go to student login and log themselves. What we don't want is we don't want any information out at any time. So we only take your email address for teachers and your school address, and that's how we vet you. We take no information from your student's username and password. If the state of Nevada or the school district wants to do that technological themselves, we are 100% okay with that. But here's the other reason. You know how many programs there are out there for us to be able to be suitable on all of them? So we've just taken that aspect where we will allow the school district and the state to put it anywhere they want. We'll sign off on it, but in reality, we're not going to do that.
Okay. Pamela, I believe your question dealt with when Mike was going through the curriculum. So the question is the curriculum built in a semester format? Pamela, please come off mute if I have misread your question.
That's actually a great question.
It's off mute.
That's what I wanted to ask. I see that the middle school is probably a 9-week curriculum from what you said, but for high school, is it a semester course?
So FoolProof can be used two ways. If you did all the modules in FoolProof, the assignments and activities, pulled some of those resources out that I gave you, we're a very interactive teacher. 20 weeks, you can do 20 weeks off FoolProof. It'd be fantastic. A lot of teachers are using it as a supplement. They're taking it with their original curriculum and they're adding FoolProof into it. I'm keynote in Utah in June, and Utah has a state exam. Our #1 usage in Utah is students are using FoolProof to review for the state exam. So it's however you want to use FoolProof is definitely up to you. I've seen it used supplemental. I've seen it used as a full curriculum. Again, I'm the only speaker you probably had at their third slide, and I haven't talked about FoolProof, and I'm talking about other people's curriculum. I love diversity of curriculum. I think it's so important in the personal finance space. So I think you blend everything, but that's totally up to you. As you start creating your curriculum, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me and I'll have a conversation with you, and I'll kind of tell you what I think and what's worked for other schools as well, because everybody's using FoolProof so uniquely.
Wonderful. Any other questions? We are over on time. I have placed 2 links in the chat. Make sure you complete both. One is the attendance link, placed in there around 11 this morning. And the other is the survey, because we love feedback, loving to learn and grow. And yes, just a reminder, the next session is at 11:50 with the student panel and working lunch in the main room. As Mike said, he shared all of his contact information. If you have questions for Mike, please reach out. This has been very informative, and this is my second time listening to it, and I keep learning things all the time. So with that, there are no more questions. I'm going to stop our recording.